Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you and welcome to the Investor Forum of Expack Corrugated Cartons Limited. Since its establishment in 1998, Expack Corrugated Cartons Limited has gone along a long and a successful journey, and here we are today at an important milestone for the company as we are in the IPO process of Expack Corrugated Cartons. Thank you everyone who has joined us today and all of you who are watching us live from wherever you are. Starting off the Investor Forum, let me first invite the esteemed members of the head table to take their respective seats. We have the Deputy Chairman of Aberdeen Holdings, Hassan Qasim, Managing Director of Expack Corrugated Cartons Limited, Zulfikar Gauss, Director of Expack Corrugated Cartons Limited, Abdullah Qasim, Group Chief Financial Officer of Aberdeen Holdings, Chaturanga Aberatna. And from the joint managers to the issue, we have Rizni Faisal, Senior Vice President, Head of Equity Capital Markets and M&A for CAL, along with Sujendra Mehta, the Head of Investment Banking at Asia Securities. All right, first things first, today is a Tuesday morning and all of you, despite your busy schedules, have chosen to witness the Investor Forum of Expack Corrugated Cartons Limited. We believe that you deserve a warm welcome. To present you with that warm welcome, let me invite the Deputy Chairman of Aberdeen Holdings, Mr. Hassan Qasim, to deliver the welcome address and the opening remarks.
Thank you very much, Shamil. Thank you. Members of the head table, distinguished members of the media, all our stakeholders and potential investors joining us through our live stream, a very good morning to all of you. Let me take the opportunity to welcome all of you and thank you all for being with us here today. I think it is appropriate to begin by giving you a little bit of context, background, and history to the company. Expack Corrugated Cartons was established in the year 1994 by Expolanka Limited with the primary objective of catering to the in-house demand for cartons that Expolanka Limited had. Over the years, Expack started supplying the broader market, and today, Expack is the largest corrugated carton manufacturer in Sri Lanka, has a monthly capacity of 2,750 metric tons, and has held the #1 spot for quite a few years. Another key component to the Expack story is a company by the name of Neptune Papers Private Limited, which we believe gives us, Expack, a distinctive advantage in the market compared to the rest of the industry. Neptune Papers was established in the year 1994 with the objective of collecting a byproduct that came out of Expack's process, which is the waste paper, processing that waste paper in a manner which made it suitable for export, and exporting it out to paper millers. These paper millers are the same raw material suppliers to Expack, so Neptune was a key link in the overall chain. Expack and Neptune are owned 100% by Aberdeen Holdings. Aberdeen Holdings was formerly known as Expolanka Investments and has a 3-decade history and operates in numerous industries such as pharmaceutical, commodities, aviation, transport, energy, farming, and supply chain. Aberdeen Holdings has a history of founding companies and listing them and running them with good corporate governance. Expack is a prime example of this. There is little to no ownership involvement in Expack, and Expack is completely independently run by a diverse panel of directors and independent management. Today heralds a new era for Expack. We are excited honored and humbled that we will be joining the ranks of some of the best corporates in Sri Lanka and will be listed alongside them on the Colombo Stock Exchange soon. While Aberdeen Holdings has and will continue to support the company in its journey, we are very aware that this has not been and will not be our journey alone. If it was not for our external stakeholders such as yourselves, our customers, our suppliers, auditors, bankers, media personnel, and now analysts, stockbrokers, and potential investors, this journey would not have been possible. We look forward to continuing this journey with all of you and invite you to join us via this IPO, which is set to open on the 22nd of October 2021. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hassan. So what is Expack Corrugated Cartons Limited? You would see it says Expack, your carton, your way. You would see that it says Sri Lanka's largest corrugated cartons manufacturer. We know that corrugated cartons breathe life into the trade that we see across the world. But what is the story of Expack Corrugated Cartons Limited? That is what we are about to reveal to you right now. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the corporate video of Expack Corrugated Cartons Limited.
Expack Corrugated Cartons Private Limited is a truly Sri Lankan company drawing from our rich cultural heritage and a love for nature and the environment. Expack has molded its vision and scope around reusing raw materials and controlling its carbon footprint on the earth. We take pride in the fact that all our wood pulp is harvested from planned forests with replanting programs and international FSC certification. Expack, incorporated in 1998, is a wholly owned subsidiary of Aberdeen Holdings, Sri Lanka. We have invested in our employees and our clients to provide the local and international market with high-quality corrugated cartons. We produce customized, high-quality packaging solutions to the individual requirements of our customers. Your carton, your way. Expack is an ISO 9001-14001 and RAP certified award-winning manufacturer using the state-of-the-art technology. Know your product better than anyone and know your customer better than anyone. We spend an immense amount of time and effort in researching the exact needs of our clients. Attention to detail is reflected in our cleanliness, especially in producing packaging for the FMCG sector. We work closely with our customers to provide them with high-quality cartons and on-time delivery. Nothing works better than improving your product. In a highly competitive market, Expack places great emphasis on providing our clients with value addition. From the design of the carton to the print shop, we endeavor to reduce the cost of packaging by implementing better design and optimizing the print process. We thus often meet and even exceed the client's standards in quality and design. All of this impacts the cost of our products. When we provide clients with a higher quality at a lower cost, it contributes directly to their increased competitiveness and profitability. But there is more to any successful corporate than machinery, raw material, and product. Our world is made up of people, our families, our community, our society. In a fast-changing world, no matter how technologically advanced we may be, it is people who matter most. At Expack, we firmly believe the words of Mary Kay Ash. People are definitely the company's greatest asset. It doesn't matter what the product is. A company is only good as the people it keeps. High emphasis is placed on the in-house training and development of our personnel. We provide our staff with facilities and comfort that far surpasses the industry standards. A happy workforce often results in a superior product and timely production and delivery of our cartons. We place high emphasis on our IT infrastructure, state-of-the-art manufacturing, and next-generation technologies. We take into consideration the variable market conditions and take keen note of the exact needs of our clients. We can thus produce cartons and packaging products that meet and exceed the needs and standards of our large and constantly growing client base. We are all working together. That's the secret. As a contributing member of society, Expack takes its corporate social responsibility very seriously. Our CSR projects are centered around the community that we are a part of. Our initiatives focus on the needs of the community, with the setting up and maintaining of a medical facility and dispensary at a temple close to the factory. We also focus on providing children of the area with education, study materials, and a clean environment for their play and relaxation. Our keenness to meet the growing needs of a nation and feed the robust growth in the local and international markets has positioned Expack as a leading manufacturer of high-quality corrugated products and has helped us to stay ahead of the competition. In a world driven by greed and profit at all costs, Expack upholds the vision of preserving our environment, producing the highest quality in packaging, designing our product to meet the client's needs, exceeding the expectations of our clients, investing in people and community. We believe in a company that contributes to and is an active part of the community. We believe in a company that invests in our employees and our clients. Team Expack. Expack, your carton, your way.
We believe in a company that invests in our employees and our clients. In a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen, that is the story of Expack, where people, planet, and profit are always given utmost priority. That was just a glance at what Expack is all about. And now to dive in deeper, let me invite to the podium the Managing Director of Expack Corrugated Cartons Limited, Zulfikar Gauss, to take you through the company's story and to tell you how will you unpack endless possibilities with Expack.
Members of the head table, distinguished media personnel, and all those prospective investors who have logged in, very good morning to you. Expack Corrugated Cartons is the #1 corrugated carton factory in Sri Lanka, and 1 in 5 cartons is manufactured at our facility. We have a facility which is about 203,000 square feet in a 3.5 acre plot of land. We have grown quite exponentially. I would say tremendous growth, because we 10 years ago did 800 metric tons in a month, and today, which was March 2021, we did 2,650 metric tons. That is an all-time high. The growth was something like 230%, which amounts to 23% per annum, which all stakeholders, employees are very pleased about. But there comes the problem. We've had to rationalize on orders, say no to about 250 to 300 metric tons during the month of March. And even now, we're facing that problem. So if customers are giving us that amount of orders, who are trusting us and giving us, we got to supply them. So then we took the next step, which was a great leap. We said, okay, let us go put up a new factory. So now we thought of putting up a factory which we are thinking of about 325,000 square feet approximately in a 10-acre plot, giving an idea of what it can be in the future. We have a 600 client base, which we have to, again, we have been very selective, which we don't want to do, because we have said no to even friends and relations who have come and said, Expack, please supply us. How we had such a loyal base, I will explain to you as I go along. We do about 48% to the FMCG sector, then we do another 32 to equipment and the other sectors, and we also have tea, rubber, coconut, then we have some fruits and vegetables, fisheries, etc. We are not dependent on any industry. We are not a lapdog to any industry. That has given us a great advantage, because there are ups and downs in the industry. For example, we had the tea industry not collapsing but going through a very bad patch, and Expack didn't have a drop in their production. We are a socially conscious company, and the Neptune story too takes us miles apart from the other corrugators, because you need 18 fully grown trees, 260 liters of water, and 400 kilowatts of power to make a ton of virgin paper. Our story goes because Neptune exports more than almost 28 to 30,000 metric tons of paper. Thereby, the number of trees that need to be felled has been reduced drastically. We, being ISO certified, RAP certified, and FSC certified, which goes with environment, etc., we have walked the talk, and therefore we have ensured that the paper we buy is moreover recycled, and it comes from the mills which Neptune supplies to. That has given us a great advantage, because in addition to they receiving the paper during the times when there was a shortage of paper during the pandemic, Neptune ensured their supplies, we were ensured our supplies. Neptune became their preferred supplier, and we became their preferred buyer. So overall, we also, being an award-winning factory where the environment and where other aspects are taken into account, we have won the National Chamber of Exporters Award twice. We were the best company in the sector, export sector. Then we have won the Business Excellence Award twice. We have won the Merit Award for Presidential. CNCI, we won the top 10 companies. And add to all, we won the Great Place to Work 4 times in Sri Lanka. And we win it for the 5th time. We'll be taken to the Hall of Fame. And we have also won it in Asia 3 consecutive years, which talks volumes of what we are. It's not only the environment that we consider. These particular awards, etc., consider the stakeholders in toto. We have grown tremendously because we had some KPIs which were customer centric. One was on-time delivery. That took us poles apart from the competition, because we ensured that the customer gets his carton on time, and at the moment we have a 98% on-time delivery. Imagine we are in a situation where you do just-in-time production and the cartons have not arrived on time. You have to produce and keep it on the ground, or change your production schedule, which is not going to be easy. Right? There are exporters who form a major portion of our customer base, who also have said that they have missed a whistle, or they couldn't get the cartons on time, or they have been short supplied. How can you load a container? Impossible. So that is our, shall I say, the promise we gave our customer, that we will give them on-time delivery. In supplying to the local market, we realized that there is a wide market open. So we supply to countries like Maldives. We do 95% of their requirement, which I feel is great, and something which we as a Sri Lankan company should be very pleased about. Then we also do exports to another 15 odd countries globally, like Seychelles. Then we do to Madagascar, which is our stepping stone to Africa, the growing region. Then we do some to India, Australia, and to USA. As I said earlier, we've a customer-centric company, and with our export proceeds that we get now, which is something similar to gold. 52% of our revenue comes from export from US dollars, which has given us a fantastic advantage, because we were able to open LCs on time, and when the goods arrived, we were able to pay for the goods, and the goods didn't get held up at the port even for a day. So thereby, in Sri Lanka, the advantage which they didn't have, we had it, and then we also became the preferred buyer to most of our suppliers of raw material. We import about 60% of our raw material, and that is of the highest grade of paper we get, because on-time delivery ensures you're getting a quality carton on time and the right quantity. We have, as you said, I mean, if you wonder how we grew 23% annually on average, it's something that our workers did, because what we invested in 2007 and 8 in machinery, we just added one machine, $1 million machine that was an inline printer. But with what we invested then, we took this company forward in the form of productivity. When we were doing 800 metric tons, we worked the same number of hours as it is today, and we had the same number of staff, but we had only 800 metric tons. Today, we had an all-time high of 2,650, because we have worked very closely, hand in glove with our employees, whom we value, and we have actually entrusted our factory, the new factory, to take us forward. We have done several CSR projects, I think, which you saw in our video, which is quite comprehensive projects, and in that particular medical facility, we have treated more than 50,000 patients. We give the medicine free, and we also give consultation free. And this was done for the area people, as some of our employees also take charge of it. If you go back and see what Expack has done in the form of productivity, I mean, we've done 2,650 in a factory that did 800. We have budgeted, we have ensured that on paper we have been very conservative, that we'll do about 4,000 metric tons. But looking at what Expack can produce and sell and what the staff can give us, probably we will far exceed that. That is something that we have. And in this particular industry, right, once you invest, you have invested, and you can cream it for the next 15 to 20 years. So we had a good dividend payout ratio of almost 100% previously, and what we see is a fantastic dividend ratio as we go along, and ensure that the investors are well remunerated. Thank you.
A box can be anything you want it to be. So unpack imagination with Expack, Sri Lanka's largest corrugated carton manufacturer, an organization that maintained a revenue in excess of $25 million, the industry leader for the past 6 years, present in over 14 sectors with 600 plus local and global partnerships, ISO 9001, 14001, RAP and FSC certified, and recognized by Great Place to Work, NCE, NBEA, Lanka Star, National Green and CSR Awards. Unpack endless possibilities with Expack, Sri Lanka's largest corrugated carton manufacturer. Initial public offering of Expack, Sri Lanka's largest corrugated carton manufacturer, opening on 22nd October. Click the link below to download the application. Unpack endless possibilities with Expack, Sri Lanka's largest corrugated carton manufacturer. There is a little bit of magic in every box, so unpack happiness with Expack, Sri Lanka's largest corrugated carton manufacturer, an organization that maintained a revenue in excess of $25 million, the industry leader for the past 6 years, present in over 14 sectors with 600 plus local and global partnerships, ISO 9001, 14001, RAP and FSC certified, and recognized by Great Place to Work, NCE, NBEA, Lanka Star, National Green and CSR Awards. Unpack endless possibilities with Expack, Sri Lanka's largest corrugated carton manufacturer.
Thank you, Mr. Zulfikar. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Zulfikar Gauss, the Managing Director of Expack Corrugated Cartons Limited, following which you took a look at a few commercials that have been aired in line with the IPO process. Before we move on to the next segment of our agenda, let me urge all of you watching online to share any questions or comments that you may have in the Q&A section on Zoom, and we will be more than happy to take those questions up and direct them towards our esteemed panel. We would have a special Q&A session for the virtual audience today before we wrap up today's proceedings. And also later on in the afternoon, we have an analyst forum that will also take place to dive in deeper and to understand the IPO process from an analyst perspective. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, we are now set to move on to the next segment of this morning's event. That is to take you through the key IPO highlights of the IPO of Expack Corrugated Cartons Limited. And to take you through this process, let me invite Rizli Faisal, the Senior Vice President, Head of Equity Capital Markets and M&A at KEL, who is a joint manager to the issue, to take the podium.
So ladies and gentlemen, to give you a quick synopsis of the IPO highlights, the IPO is priced at ₹8.40. It's an offer for subscription at 700 million for 25% of the company. The proceeds would be predominantly used to partly fund a new facility for Expat, which would take Expack's monthly capacity from 2,750 to 4,000. In terms of the pricing of the IPO itself, we priced it at 7.7 times forward earnings. And in terms of what an investor can expect in terms of a dividend, something that Zulfikar touched on, they can expect a payout of around 50% going forward, which on average gives you an 8.8% yield at the IPO price going forward. So both capital gains and the dividend yield put together, we expect long-term investors to see at least a 32% year-on-year IRR. To touch on the valuation, so we've used a discounted cash flow based method, which gives us a 11 rupee share price, which is a 32% immediate upside to an investor at the IPO. We've also looked at peer multiples to come up with relative valuations. We've used a forward based multiple for this. And what it does, we've used a combination of consumer B2C and B2B businesses with an appropriate discount. It gives us a 10.1 time peer average, which again gives us a 32% upside to investors. So leaving, I'd like to just touch on two things. The 7.7 times forward multiple and the 8.9 times TTM August based multiple, both these gives a healthy discount to the current peer average. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Rizli. As we speak, ladies and gentlemen, I've got some questions that we have received on the live event of the virtual investor forum. So as promised previously, it is now time to open the floor for the questions from the virtual audience, of which I've received a few questions to me right now. So some of these questions have been directed to some of our panelists, so I'll be addressing you and asking you the question. And to our viewers online, we've been getting a lot of questions from the time we started the event. If your question isn't answered during the forum, we will have a couple of email addresses that you will see on your screen in a short while. Feel free to share any of your burning questions, comments, or thoughts to those email addresses, and our panelists or the managers to the IPO would be more than happy to share the answers with you. So starting with the questions that we have, the first one has been directed to Zulfikar Gauss, the MD at Expack Corrugated Cartons Limited. The question is as follows. Could you give us some clarity in terms of the timelines of the proposed investment into the new factory?
Good morning. We have planned the construction of the new factory. We're taking something like between 11 to 12 to 13 months. However, what we've been very conservative in budgeting our numbers, we have taken an 18-month period for income to flow in. Actually, once we move into the new factory, we'll be doing 1,000 metric tons over there and 1,500 in the current factory. Year 2025, we'll be shifting totally to the new facility, and this particular facility will will be available for sale. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Zulfikar. So the next question here has been also directed to you. This is a longer question, so let me read it out. Is the capacity of both factories 4,000 metric tons a month, or is it only the new factory that contributes to the 4,000 metric ton a month? If the capacity of the new facility is 4,000 metric tons a month, what will happen to the current factory that is operational?
Okay. The new factory will be constructed in 2 phases. Initially, the first phase will be able to do about 1,500 to 2,000 metric tons. And once the second phase comes in year 24, by year 25 will be completed and we can do 4,000 metric tons. The old factory probably will be, with its building, will be sold out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next one I feel is also appropriate to be directed to Zulfikar Gauss itself. The question is as follows. What percentage of the raw materials are imported? Do exports outweigh imports or vice versa?
We import about 60% of our raw materials, and the other balance 40% is procured locally. Actually, our dollar revenue is about 52% of our dollar revenue is about 52% of turnover. Thereby, we have actually excess foreign exchange that gets accumulated in our accounts.
Thank you. So moving on to another panelist for the next question, I would like to direct this question to Abdullah Qasim, the director for Expack Corrugated Cartons Limited. He is also the managing director of Neptune Papers, which is a subsidiary of Expack. The question is as follows. Neptune has made losses in the recent past. However, profits are predicted for the forecast period. How feasible is this?
So basically during the COVID pandemic initiation, the company took a drastic restructuring process, went through a cost-cutting exercise as well, and was able to realize close to 10 million a month of savings. So we see that savings flowing into this financial year, resulting in profitability, and we expect that to continue for the foreseeable future as well.
Thank you, Abdullah. The next one has been directed to the managers to the issue. Let me direct this question to Sujendra Mehta from Asia Securities. When is the company's shares expected to trade on the Colombo Stock Exchange?
So we are confident that the offer will be fully subscribed on the opening day, which is the 22nd of October. If assuming that happens, the share would start trading around the second week of November.
Thank you, Suchendra. We will take roughly 2 more questions. So the next question has been directed to Chaturanga, the Group CFO for Aberdeen Holdings. The question is as follows. The average dividend yield was said to be 8.8%. Is this in line with past dividend payouts?
So basically, our dividend payout in the past has been 100%. How we were able to do is because our profitability represents 30% of the dividend. So actually the cash profit is about 130%. So we are very comfortable with the 50% dividend payout, and we always ensured we have a 2 times dividend cover in our forecast as well. Because when you do the main investment, you don't need additional investment on the capex. So we are very comfortable with that. Yeah, so sorry, profitability, it's 30% is depreciation. So basically, another 20% only we have to finance from the profit.
Thank you, Chaturanga. The next question is also directed to you. Why is the gearing of the company significantly high?
So if you look at our borrowings, majority is short-term borrowings taken to finance working capital. And we have invested in investment property that's about 450 million valued, and opportunistic investment on a dollar deposit, close to about another 600 million. So when you take those out, our gearing reduced to about 2:1. So I think with the current macroeconomic environment, the capital structure we adopt is really improving our profitability. And as we go into the 5th year, we are planning to have 1:1 debt to equity ratio.
Thank you, Chaturanga. As we speak, we are receiving a lot of comments even on our Facebook live stream. However, we've picked mostly our questions mostly from our participants from the Zoom virtual investor forum, those who have registered for the event prior to today's event. So I think on that note, we will conclude the special Q&A for the virtual audience. However, as I mentioned before, none of your questions will go unanswered. Please direct any question, short or long, to the email addresses that you will see on your screen in a short while, and we will be more than happy to answer all your questions before you make your decision. Having said that, of course, our friends from media will also be looking forward to ask a lot of questions, to have further discussions with all our panelists and the organizers. So we will have a special discussion which will follow in a short while, which will accompany a fellowship as well. Next up, however, we move on to the vote of thanks of today's event to officially wrap up the proceedings of the Virtual Investor Forum and open up the floor for discussions. To propose the vote of thanks, let me invite onto the podium Director for Expat Corrugated Cartons Limited, Abdullah Qasim.
Thank you, Shamil. This draws us to the end of the IPO launch event of Expack. So on behalf of the Board of Directors, the management, and the staff of Expat Corrugated Cartons, I would like to thank, first of all the attendees of this event, the media who came here on such short notice, as well as everyone attending online. We would have loved to meet you physically, like the good old days. Moving on, we would like to thank the shareholders of Expack Corrugated Cartons, Aberdeen Holdings, for standing by the company throughout its journey and being a pillar of support throughout this entire IPO process as well. Next, to all our customers, suppliers, service providers, and all other stakeholders throughout this journey. Our companies are what it is today because of you. So thank you. Next, to the joint managers of the issue, Cal and Asia Securities, thank you for the guidance, effort, and close cooperation you have provided to us. To all other stakeholders involved in this issue, the SEC, the CSE, the stockbroking community, our auditors, E&Y, our secretaries, business intelligence, our registrars to the issue, SSB Corporate Services, and our bankers, NDB. Thank you very much. Finally, to our creative and technical teams at Triad for running and managing a highly efficient campaign and running a smooth event as well. Also, a big thank you to the location providers, Cinnamon Grant. For more information on the IPO, as mentioned before, please visit our dedicated website, ipo.expack.lk, or simply send an SMS to 8866 typing Expack for more information. And also, finally, please contact your stockbrokers, who I'm sure will be more than happy to help. If anyone has any more queries with regard to the IPO or the company, please reach out on the emails provided provided here or to the joint managers. If you analysts have any questions, we are having a dedicated event for you at 3:30 p.m. today, this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Abdullah. Even during the vote of thanks, I see a lot of enthusiasm in the comment section from our live stream. So thank you for all the excitement and the enthusiasm you brought onto the table. And once again, we reiterate that all your questions we will answer. So please do share your thoughts either in the comment section or even email it to us directly. We will be more than happy to provide you answers. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, for all of you who are watching us live on Zoom or on Facebook, we now conclude the virtual investor forum for Expat Corrugated Cartons Limited IPO process. Thank you very much for your time and have a safe day ahead.